All right, so this video is going to go a little bit more in detail into the contacts piece. So contacts, just basically anyone that you stick in the system, they are considered a contact. Now, you have all sorts of fields that you can manage and view. Usually, I try to get it where you have kind of just the things that you would want to look at, which I think is the contact type, email, phone number. You might want to see when they're created, or you might not. So you can kind of just click or unclick whatever you want to see and move things around. Tags are just a way like that you can make a little note about a certain group of people. So you might tag all your active patients so that you could see that. And then contact source is the big one. If we have any way of tracking it, then we will use the contact source, and we'll be able to see, like, if they filled out a web form, it would say form here. As I mentioned, tags you can create. So I've already created some demo ones, such as active patient, if you wanted to mark that. And that just makes it a little easier for you if you're trying to like create custom filters. And then you can assign it. If you have multiple therapists, you could assign it to a particular therapist. And here's the conversation tab. So if you had your phone set up through HighLevel, you could send text messages and stuff directly from here. And then in the past video, I went over here, but you have, notes. Everything on this side's tied to the contacts. So this would be a node that lives just in Jason Smith's account. Same thing with the tasks. And then if we have any opportunities assigned with him, so we can see here that he's in the review requested opportunity. That kind of gives me a feel for where's he at in our pipeline, right? Maybe they reach out, you haven't heard from them in a while, you come to opportunities and you see they scheduled a consult, a week ago, and you can click right on it and kind of see some of the details. The only other thing I think of is you might change like contact type to lead or customer. Those are the two types that there are. And then if you have a view that you really like let's say, hey, this is how I want it to look from here on out, you can save it as a smart list, which is basically just a list that's pre-filtered. So you might have a smart list for patients, and then you might have another smart list for leads. So you can kind of see, all right, here's a list of my patients. Here's a list of people that aren't patients, but hopefully will become. And then up here at the top, you can just kind of toggle between those different views, which is nice. And let's say this example one, I wanted that to be like, hey, when I come to this page, that's the first one I want to see. Then you can also, I thought there was a way. No, for some reason, I thought there was a way to make it the default, but maybe you have to have multiple. If you have a contact list, like an email list, I'd say, honestly, just give it to me. There is a way to import it, but I find it easier if I can just kind of help you out with it, because sometimes it can be a little bit finicky. But for any like just one-off contact creations, you just hit the add contact button and then it will put them in here. And that is pretty much the contacts page. Let's go over to opportunities, because opportunity and contact are very similar in our particular use case. Like, we're not tracking different opportunities for different customers. It's really only just one customer is the patient, and that's kind of the person we're tracking. So I've made every opportunity name just the name of the person. And then if you wanted, you could assign a value here or have it default to a value. If you know that your average customer spends $1,500, then you can kind of track and forecast a little bit about how much, money and stuff's coming in. But really, the opportunity is just an easy way to see where your people are at. And if you click directly on their name, it will pull up the contact information that I just showed you. If you wanted to see, like, if they have a follow-up, like this person's got a task, right? So I can click on that and it'll immediately show me what the task is, which is why I tend to direct everyone towards just using the opportunities tab and not spending too much time in the contacts, because it's a little easier to see, all right, this one has a task. I should probably see what's going on here. You can even change what fields are shown if you wanted to. If you click this, you can make it look however you want, and you can show whatever sort of things you want. But really, I just need the person's name for the most part. Yeah, all right, those are those two. And then in the next video, I'll go over calendars.